Oh, hello. Welcome to the Pinfall podcast where dreams come to die.
Mania after Raw, or Raw after Mania after Raw. SmackDown? What is this show? Which show is this? Is this AEW?
I wish. I'm probably sure it'd be better.
Welcome, everybody. As you can see, we have, if you weren't here for the Wrestlemania show, you'll now see we have a new Raw graphic as well. Looks pleasant. Very nice. Much nicer than the last one. So Liz, what did you think of tonight's Raw?
I think the sign says it all.
I saw a lot of Twitter hated it. A lot of Reddit hated it. Most of Reddit hated it.
Tumblr hated it. I can
Tumblr
confirm on
hated
that
it.
front.
You hate it. I didn't hate it. I thought we got some good stuff and a lot of shitty stuff. But I'm trying to look at the positives as best I can, honestly. We got the contender for Backlash. We got a reformed Hurt Business, looks like. Just shoving Cedric and Shelton further into the dust. We got the return of Ivar and the Viking Raiders. Charlotte's return. The rematch between Asuka and Rhea, which ended up being a DQ. The return of Firefly Funhouse. Which was a positive, in my opinion. And we got some tag team stuff. It's not a great episode. Not good.
Content-wise, it was decent. Like, in terms of, like, the 3 hours passed by quickly.
Right. Miriam said the true star of tonight, Rambling Rabbit, back in our lives. And we also got Bray Wyatt to say, witches be wildin'.
When I saw Ramblin' Rabbit, my heart, like, I felt whole again.
Mm-hmm.
My inside bones.
People were saying it was like a classic Firefly Funhouse skit. Like, combination of mystery and craziness.
Yeah. That was probably one of my favorite moments of tonight, honestly.
Yeah, mine too.
It's such a shame because, like, the episode after Mania is supposed to be like this, like, wild and crazy humdinger of an episode, and this was.
Yeah. But we have SmackDown. We got SmackDown to hope and pray is better. We could see the return of Becky
SmackDown,
Lynch.
I got my fingers crossed. Yeah, sure.
Oh man.
I somehow don't believe that.
Can I just say, I fucking hate Backlash.
Yeah, I fucking hate Backlash too, honestly.
The fact that it seems to just, at least this year, just seems to be rematches from Mania. It's stupid. That is so stupid.
It's because they want to ride this WrestleMania high for another month. And I know they do because they keep using WrestleMania graphics. It's like, all right. Like, did the Weeknd song cost that much that you guys have to, like, continue to use it?
Just, like, move on. My God.
I mean, this is how it always is with these fucking pay-per-views in between, like, the good pay-per-views. Like, I am annoyed that they switched Money in the Bank to Backlash, though.
Yeah.
But Money in the Bank will now be our full circle of pay-per-views. anniversary.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view that will never see the light of fucking day.
Wait, we did a podcast for that?
Backlash? Yeah.
Oh, a Backlash. Okay.
Backlash is the messy one.
I thought you were talking about Money in the Bank. But yeah.
No, I'm saying that because they swapped.
Yeah. Backlash. Yeah. That was the worst.
I genuinely do not remember doing that podcast.
Oh, I do.
And because I've never seen the video, I have been able to just fool myself into thinking it will never exist.
The video's been deleted forever.
Thank God.
But so some interesting things to note from today. Despite winning titles at WrestleMania, we did not see Sheamus, AJ, or Omos. Kind of shocking.
Weird shit.
And
Yeah.
Apparently, at least Sheamus was there. He was at the Thunderdome.
So weird. Why?
I don't know. It seems like the the women's tag shit took priority over Sheamus. Mandy tripping was a higher priority.
Yay? For women?
Elias and fake man were a higher priority than Sheamus. Fake Steve Cutler or fake Wesley Blake.
Man who will never be mentioned on this fucking podcast so long as I have something to say about it.
You mentioned him last week, didn't you?
I only mentioned him
Saturday, I think.
On Friday.
Oh, right, okay.
Because he got eliminated, and I said that would be the only time I would ever utter his fucking name, because that's a dirty word in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good God-fearing lady. Just kidding.
Okay. Alright. So, news.
What now?
News. We've gone a whole weekend without talking about news. A whole 2 podcasts without talking about any kind of news.
And you would think that there would be news.
Mm-hmm.
You would. But my God, there really is not. Because I was like in a bad mood doing the news this morning or this afternoon because I was like, this fucking sucks. I've got like a bunch of shit I'm gonna have to deal with probably because with WrestleMania happening, there's a ton of shit I'm sure that's happened in the news. But there wasn't really.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
We can start with Bray Wyatt's tweet though.
Yes. So, do you know the name of the painting that he tweeted?
I have no clue what the name of the painting is.
Well, let me pull it up. Bray Wyatt, with no context, no caption or anything, tweeted a picture of Samson and Delilah. Is it Delilah? Samson and Delilah?
Samson and Delilah. Yep. I had to tell Mark about this, and Mark's the one who went to church as a child.
Yeah.
I just listened to a Regina Spektor song once.
A picture of Delilah cutting Samson's hair, and for those unfamiliar with the Bible story, Samson was very powerful, but he got all of his power from his hair. And then Delilah betrayed Samson by cutting his hair, therefore taking away all of his power.
Essentially emasculating him.
Right. And that looks to be what happened with Fiend and Alexa Bliss, I guess.
In a metaphorical sense.
Right. We got a bit of an explanation tonight as to what happened. But the details are still unclear. But we can infer some of it at least. Yeah, at least the pictures opened up a little more.
Yeah, I guess the confusing thing is just like, how do we enact on this new feud? Because I know the WWE is not going to give us in mixed match anytime soon. So,
Well, I mean, we've been getting Randy and Bliss, and
yeah,
a
but they can't.
cinematic match, John Cena style.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think it'd be pretty fucking cool. I'm actually pretty excited for this little feud that we got. I also have a theory.
Oh, a game theory or an
A
Austin
game
theory?
A game theory. With a slight bit of Austin theory.
Okay. So I guess our next discussion will be still in the realm of Twitter because I don't know what the fuck Andrade is talking about anymore. I have no fucking clue. My man has just been tweeting off the cuff shit out of nowhere.
What did he tweet?
Okay. So Wrestle Talk is assuming that this is Andrade teasing a return to WWE. Yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry. A return to wrestling. My
okay.
spelled. But he posted a video of himself taking the La Sombra mask off. And I guess he said, "I'm back and it's time to remember who I was and travel the world to achieve my goals." Which makes me think he's going to New Japan. Or somewhere that isn't in America.
Yeah, like, he's probably gonna just go back to the indies.
Right. But apparently Murphy posted a picture with Andrade today.
Yeah.
It's like,
well, they were in the airport. They were in the airport together, so who knows why Murphy
like kind of
was
forbidden
there.
door shit.
I don't think so. I think it's more forbidden door if it's somebody from AEW. But I don't know. That's kind of a little mucky. But we'll see what happens with that with Andrade in his career. Hope he brings La Sombra back. That would be really cool.
Yeah. I just hope that he finds a place that's going to, I don't know, fucking use him.
Yeah. I have a little piece of news too.
Please tell me more, because I've got nothing.
So Santos Escobar issued an open challenge on Twitter for tomorrow, and Lince Dorado expressed some interest, and then Santos responded. Let me pull up the exact tweet, because it wasn't. It just seemed like confirmation, but I just want to get the wording right just to be safe. Oh no, that is not the right Santos Escobar. I love how his name is now Undisputed Santos Escobar.
Good for him.
Yeah, so Santos issued the open challenge. Lince said, "I want to fight Escobar. That would be Lucha Lit." And then Santos said, "Bring it." Now, if it's Lince, if Lince is the one to fight him, it seems to be one of those matches that you have as like a little jobber match, and then you have somebody else come in at the end. As far as who that person is, a lot of people are saying Murphy. I saw Alistair thrown around too, but I don't think he's a cruiserweight.
He's a spindly little thing. He might be.
But I think if there was one person who could take on Santos for the title after taking on one of the best cruiserweights in the division, at least
Alistair's 215 pounds.
215. Okay, but if there's one person who could take on Santos, it would be Murphy, who is known as one of the best cruiserweight champions of all time.
Yeah. I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm so tired right now, but like I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just like how they're fucking pushing tomorrow's episode, like, guess what happened after Kyle and Adam's match? And I was like, well, a funeral, I assume, considering the fucking bump Adam took.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll see a call up on Friday.
You think so?
Yeah, Friday or next Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling. Because
People are... On.
I just think the way that they changed Cole O'Reilly's and Roddy's walkouts and gear to be very very generic and very basic. So I have a feeling
think Kyle's staying. So Kyle's gear has like a slogan and everything.
Roddy's also has his old gear, so he's probably staying.
No, but Kyle's gear isn't old. Roddy might be, though, because Roddy's the one who just fucking walked out. But Roddy would make the most sense to pop up literally anywhere else.
We've seen that before, though. We saw that in Austin Theory.
I'm just saying.
But you know what? Any of the three would be possible. I know we're those people that Triple H and Shawn Michaels joked about.
I still don't think that there will be a call up. I'm still pretty dead set on there not being one.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I'm still holding out hope for one of the UE guys to move up, because I don't if they're singles guys, I don't see there being room for them.
That's fair.
Especially after you had Kyle, who just went for the NXT title twice and lost both times. I think they would want to move him up and be a mid-card guy on the main roster.
Fair enough. So, more WWE news. I guess we're bringing back an old pay-per-view. On April 7th, the WWE filed trademark No Mercy, which makes people think that No Mercy is the pay-per-view that we're bringing back.
Yeah. Or wasn't there a No Mercy game, too?
That I don't know.
I think there was, because I think that's what they played on Up, Up, Down, Down Mania.
Also, just so you know, this was filed on the same day as Commander Aziz. That's what Daba's name is now.
Right. WWF No Mercy is the name of the game. So could be a new. Actually, if 2K22 is coming out, I don't think they would do another game. But yay, another pay-per-view. Yay.
Another generic ass pay-per-view.
Yeah, like another Fastlane, another Payback, another
Isn't that what the Scott Steiner
promo
was about? Isn't that what Scott Steiner promo?
Sacrifice.
Ah, tits.
Which Sacrifice is a TNA thing or Impact thing.
Gotcha. Finally, I just wanted to talk about the producers for the matches at WrestleMania. Because, I mean, some of them aren't surprising. Now you know who to blame. In case you were wanting to blame anybody for any of the matches that happened, here's who you can blame for which. Drew versus Bobby, that was Jamie Noble and Jason Jordan. So thanks a lot, Jason Jordan.
Ooh, okay.
Bad Bunny and Damien Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. We can absolutely thank Mr. Adam Pearce for that one.
Love Adam Pearce.
Braun vs. Shayna was produced by Michael Hayes. Tag Team Turmoil was produced by Tyson Kidd at Hatbuck. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins was produced by Shane Helms.
Ooh, okay, all right.
New Day versus AJ and Omos was Chris Park. And unsurprisingly, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair, which was a phenomenal women's match, was produced by Tyson Kidd. not a single moment of shock on my heart, that one.
What was Bianca and Sasha produced by Pat Buck as well, or just Tyson Kidd?
It was just Tyson for that one.
So maybe we have Pat Buck to blame for the tag team turmoil.
Hey, maybe Tyson was like a little busy. So then for night 2, Bray versus Randy was produced by Jamie Noble. Jamie Noble with the openers, by the way.
Yeah.
Roman versus Edge versus Daniel was produced by Michael Hayes. Asuka versus Ray Ripley was produced by Tyson. We're just gonna ignore that one. Tyson, I don't know what the fuck you were doing, buddy.
But Tyson Kidd?
No, he's not. Tyson's not the reason that she dropped the title. I'm just saying that match was...
The thing was, Rhea had no chemistry with Asuka. There was no like connection there. And it also showed today too.
We can talk about today later. That's a different, much bigger fish to fry. Natty and Tamina versus Shayna and Nia was produced by Tyson and Pat.
It's Pat. It's Pat.
Pat's bringing us down, man. Apollo versus Big E was Jason Jordan. So Jason, again, don't know what the fuck you were thinking on that one. That was not good. And finally, Matt Riddle versus Sheamus was produced by Chris Park.
Chris Park?
Mm-hmm.
Which other one did Chris Park do?
New Day versus AJ and Omos.
Okay. All right.
Just to get a couple points.
Yeah. I think... Which one did Shane Helms do?
He did Cesaro and Seth.
Oh, okay. I think... Didn't Shane Helms also do the Women's Royal Rumble along with Tyson Kidd?
That was a couple guys. That was Tyson, Pat Buck. I think Shane had a hand in that.
Shane's gotten really good at producing. He's produced some bangers. Tyson, he's back and forth. He's 50-50. But when he does a good match, it is a great match.
That's true. I think Tyson's really good, especially for women's matches.
Yeah. I think he's their go-to women's producer.
That's all the news I have for you today, because it's been a slow news weekend, apparently.
Yeah.
Which I've had a slow news week before. I had 3 pieces of news going into today.
Okay. All right. Matches and promos. Talk about this episode.
Yeah, let's fucking get into this.
All right. So we start off with Bobby walking into... What's the name? Oh, it's the South Florida University
Yingling
campus.
Field?
What is it?
Yingling Field. Yingling Field. They can't say it because it's branded.
Yingling Field. Okay.
Or Yingling Stadium. I don't. It's Yingling something.
So Riddle comes in and challenges Bobby to a title match. Bobby says Riddle just got his ass whooped by Sheamus at Mania. Bobby came in to celebrate his victory, so he doesn't have time for this. Riddle says Bobby's back when he first got the title, said anyone can get an opportunity to become WWE champion, but then Bobby just attacks Riddle. And then that takes us right into Bobby Lashley versus Riddle, not for the title, just for the sake of it. Individually with these segments, they were good, but who came up with this? Who came up with Bobby facing Riddle in the beginning and then having to figure out who the number 1 contender is at the end? Like, have Bobby beat up Riddle backstage. Like, you don't need to have a full-fledged match out of this. Have Sheamus do some shit or something.
What they should have done was Riddle says some shit. Riddle gets his match. Bobby beats the absolute snot out of Riddle backstage. And then we're like, well, who the fuck's going to face Bobby? And then we get our stupid fucking triple threat.
Yeah.
You're welcome, WWE Creative. I just figured it all out for you. I connected the dots.
And then throw Brock Lesnar into coming back to face Bobby at Backlash. Make it a make it a fatal 4-way. Figure out the number 1 contender.
Because then Drew's gonna have a whole fucking blah, blah, blah. I beat Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. He F5'd me 89 times, blah, blah, blah. Fucking promo. I can't.
And then we get Brock versus Drew. Brock wins because Drew is Drew's weathered at this point.
I think Brock would be as fun to watch now without Paul.
I think he'd be really fun to watch in the ring. I don't think he'd be great with promos. But you could just tack on a good manager. Maybe have Sonya manage him. That'd be pretty fun. But I don't know. I'm just like desperate for Brock to come back because he would make things interesting again.
It's fair. It's fair.
We need somebody new besides these three guys in a triple threat.
Struggling. And if nobody came back tonight, nobody's coming back.
Right.
So stuck with what we got.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah, so Bobby versus Riddle. So what did we predict for Bobby versus Riddle? We did predictions tonight, right?
Didn't need those 2 days off, man.
Honestly, yeah.
Exhausted. Okay. Bobby attacks Riddle as he walks out, slams him into barricade after barricade. There's Bobby gets Riddle up onto his shoulders and runs him into the post. There's absolutely no fucking impact whatsoever. Somebody missed slapping the fucking post going by. Match finally starts and Lashley starts bouncing Riddle off of the buckle before spearing him in the corner. We get a neck breaker to Riddle and a vertical suplex to Riddle. Lashley sends Riddle sailing over the barricade. Lashley then, once we're back in the ring, is grinding a chinlock out on Riddle. Riddle goes for a clothesline, but Lashley grabs him, DDTs him, trying not to hiccup. God forbid we have a repeat of fucking last night. I didn't get rid of those hiccups until about 10 minutes after the podcast ended, and that was a hellish 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a backward shoulder tackle to Riddle. There we go. He slams both elbows of Riddle back down into the canvas. Riddle manages to get a few hits on Lashley. It just gets fucking clotheslined inside out, which slows the Riddle right back down. It's put into a position for an almighty spine buster, but Riddle manages to sneak out, gets some kicks on Bobby, a knee strike just to make Bobby look a little weak, I guess. He goes for the floating bro, though, but nobody's fucking home, and Lashley gets the hurt lock locked in, and that's the fucking match.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's exactly what we needed from that match, to be honest. If we're going to have that match, that's how it should have gone. Like an absolute squash. So at least they're doing Bobby right with booking the matches.
Yeah.
Now, as far as writing goes, that's a different story. But after that, we had an interview with Ray Ripley. She said she is confident in herself. That's why she was able to win. That's what made her challenge and beat Asuka. And she said, after last night, a brutal new order of the women's division is here. And she was reading all of this on the teleprompter very clearly. This was extremely scripted.
Imagine I'm looking this way to look at the person talking. The whole time, the person is here, I'm talking over here.
Like,
then I side-eye the person I'm supposed to be talking to.
I get it. Sometimes it's hard to make eye contact when you're talking to someone. But that was very clearly reading a teleprompter. Like,
that
Vince,
was
trust your wrestlers to deliver promos. Rhea is good at what she does.
Well, I mean, that's saying that Rhea wasn't the one who put them in this position.
But we've seen some of her promos. We've seen what she can do.
Sure.
All right. So after that, we had Also, compare that promo and how scripted it was to Charlotte's promo, which was definitely not as scripted. But then we had Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin out in the ring. Cedric has his old song back, which, although it's a great song, wish he was still part of the Hurt Business. But then we get their opponents, the Viking Raiders. They're back.
After a full fucking year.
Specifically, Ivar's back. Eric has been here the whole time as a jobber. But Ivar, so glad to have him back. He has been missed.
Good to have Ivar back, especially because, he broke his fucking neck.
Yeah. Glad he's okay.
Yeah. Hope I don't see any bumps anytime soon. Also I know he got the jobber entrance, but we got Shelton. Sorry, Shelton. We got Cedric's walkout music again, which I fucking...
Yeah. And although they were technically jobbers for this match was really fun to watch.
Yeah. Also, before we go any further, we probably should talk about the fact that we have an all-new announce team.
Oh, right. So do you want to talk about this?
Who's gonna talk?
Okay.
So Tom Phillips is no more with Raw. He has moved down to 205 Live. Not sure why, but he did get in trouble for the COVID regulation, so I don't know if this is like a demotion.
Yeah, probably.
Then on top of that, Samoa Joe is no longer on commentary, so he better be fucking coming back to wrestling, just saying.
Yeah.
It was the only good part of Drew McIntyre matches because he was the one who'd scream, "Give us a kiss." So.
Yeah.
However, with that said, let's get the shitty part out of the way. Corey Graves is on Raw.
All right.
Hey.
All right. So I know you hate Corey Graves. I know you do, but I need to be
Shit.
I need to be candid right now. Corey Graves is a fantastic commentator because he knows the moves, can actually name them, unlike some other commentators, Michael Cole. And he plays into the stories really well.
I guess I just can't stand him. I wish he would just fucking eat shit and leave us all alone for the rest of our lives. We'll find him one day. Corey Graves, please just understand it's only a matter of time. Said. We also have a brand spanking new main announcer, which is Adnan or Adnan. I think it's Adnan. I think that's what I heard them say.
You cut out when you said the last name. You cut out again. As soon as...
Fuck. His last name is Kirk.
Okay. Adnan Kirk.
Adnan Kirk. Who he's gonna have to find himself. I think it's a brand spanking new role for him, and I'm sure that this is not a role that you can really prepare very well for. But I thought by the end of tonight's episode, in the beginning, I was definitely like, I recognize there's a new guy. Mm-hmm. By the end of tonight's episode, I was like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that he's replacing the best commentator WWE has. But for his first day, he did a great job.
Yes.
He just has a high bar to meet, unfortunately, with Tom Phillips.
But he was finding more of the bravado in his voice, I think.
Yeah.
That's the one thing he was missing. He kind of started off with this very like flimsy little voice. But by the end we were starting to get him. He was in the swing of things. It was clear that he didn't quite know a lot about what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure over time that'll be fine though. I think the person I miss the most right now is Joe.
Yeah. I wonder if this means he's going to come back to wrestling or he's moving to some other commentary position.
Or a different position in general.
Oh, wait, we might see him on SmackDown because who's replacing Corey?
That's not been talked about yet. So that was a thought I had.
Yeah.
So I will have to get up in after this match.
Okay.
Have to grab something I left in the kitchen.
Okay.
said, I knew we would forget to talk about that too. I really did. The moment that it happened, I was like, this is a pretty big thing. We're not going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of interesting to have new people.
Yeah.
Great. Let's begin. Viking Raiders versus Cedric and Shelton. Cedric and Ivar start off the match. Ivar just fucking decimates Cedric. Pulls him. Gets Eric in. Ivar slams Cedric down. Eric tosses Ivar down onto him. Get a knee strike to Eric. Shelton gets in. He wants the snap suplex, but Eric won't go up. Finally, he gets it. And we get Cedric back in. There's a knee strike to the abdomen of Eric. Eric gets a nasty fucking right hook on Cedric. He goes off the ropes and is caught by Cedric. Gets Shelton in. Eric is trying to take them both on and successfully gets hit, gets a knee strike from Cedric. Shelton tosses Eric up and over. Eric lands on his feet, flips Cedric, knees Cedric in the face. Shelton and Ivar are the main men that are in now. We get a shoulder tackle to Shelton and body slam. We get a crossbody as well as a knee strike to the midsection of Ivar. This doesn't really slow him down. He gets the senton splash onto Shelton. Cedric gets in. Ivar cartwheels between Cedric and Shelton and clotheslines the men. Eric gets in. Eric tosses Ivar into Shelton, tosses Cedric up to Ivar. Ivar catches him, body slams him down for the win.
Yeah. Really great performance from Ivar. He's back and better than ever.
You really could not tell that he was gone at all.
Yeah. And after this match, I have a very strong feeling of who is going to take the title off AJ and Omos.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, there's one big man left. He just came back.
And the combined strength of both Eric and Ivar is the only thing that could take down Omos.
Yeah.
Unless you just have Big E come in along with the rest of the New Day. Make it a 3v2.
So let me jump up real quick. Why don't you talk for a little bit? Because I'm going to need it. What I am getting.
You want me to talk about the promos coming up, or just okay? All right. So up after that, we had a promo with Asuka. She just said it's her time, and it kind of just went on about Rhea. It's just to lead into the rematch that we're gonna get. But then, out of nowhere, we come back to the ring and we have Charlotte Flair's walkout happening. Out of nowhere. No lead up or anything. But she's rocking a new look. She's got a romper on, she's got straight hair. She looks great. She says she gets in the ring and says she wasn't welcomed at WrestleMania. What she does in the ring is sacred, and she wasn't on the WrestleMania card for things she couldn't control. But then Ray Ripley won, so it's out with the old and in with the new, so to speak. Charlotte said people jumped for joy when she wasn't going to be at Mania, saying that everyone was saying it's their opportunity now. I can now take the title. And she called Ray Ripley a snake. She said Asuka also manipulated her way into a rematch tonight. She said karma is a bitch, and I'm that bitch.
She is.
She said no one on the Mania card compares to Charlotte. I don't steal opportunities. I am the opportunity. What does that mean for Edge, since he's the ultimate opportunist?
Match made in heaven, baby.
Oh, well, Beth Phoenix better watch out.
Andrade better watch out.
She said she's not apologizing for being that damn good. No more humble Charlotte. She wants everyone to show some respect to Charlotte Flair. So, we're getting a heel Charlotte. A lot of people are complaining about that because she's switching back and forth between face and heel so often. similar to Big Show, apparently. I'm vibing with it because this seems like dedicated heel Charlotte, but who knows how long that'll last. For the moment, it seems cool.
This was a really sick fucking promo, and Charlotte, my god. Charlotte walked out, and I was like, I really am gay.
Hey, what?
She looked so good. I said gay.
Huh.
She looked so good tonight.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so after that, we had Asuka versus Ray Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship in a WrestleMania rematch.
Yeah, that's why I got some more alcohol, because boy howdy. Is this bad? This made the two women look like they had never stepped foot in a ring in their entire lives.
Well, Asuka was fine. It definitely wasn't as good as the Mania match, and that says a lot. But Rhea has no chemistry, no ring connection with Asuka.
It wasn't even about that. There were so many botches of moves that, like, fucking the poor commentators and poor fucking Adnan, who's like, it's his first time. Commentators were like, I don't know what that was, and like trying to make the most of it. And it's like, oh, God. All right, so Asuka tries to send Rhea into the post. She gets stopped and ragdolled. There's a kick to the midsection of Rhea. Rhea catches the second attempt. We get an armbar on Ripley, but she reaches the ropes. Calls Asuka top. Rhea wants a suplex, but Asuka fights her down. Rhea drop kicks her off the buckle. There's a clothesline to Asuka post commercial break. Rhea is bouncing Asuka's head off of the buckles for a little bit. Asuka elbows Rhea backwards and then kicks her. We get a missile drop kick off the top rope to Rhea, and a boot to the face of Rhea, and a big old suplex. We get a spinning heel kick to the back of the neck of Rhea. This is around the point where things kind of get a little fucking hairy. So Asuka goes up top, and it's looking like she wants to drop kick Rhea. She attempts to, she fails it. That was meant to happen. It's fine, but Rhea 100% was not expecting the move when it happened, because her reaction was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. She was mid-turn as this was happening, and like, you could see she was still looking at the ground. So Rhea gets the cloverleaf onto Asuka. Asuka is sent face first into the canvas from that. And then we get a knee to the face of Asuka and a drop kick to Asuka that like misses, a sliding knee that misses. And then Rhea's like trying to get Asuka on her shoulders. It doesn't work. Asuka falls backwards. And then Asuka gets into a position where it's easier for her to get up to Rhea's shoulders. She's in this like electric chair position. And Rhea basically Samoan drops her, but the way it was done looked like Asuka got the better part of it. And like Corey's like, I don't know if that was like a crucifix type of driver attempt. I was like, let's not pretend here. Then we get an armbar and a chin lock on Rhea. Rhea gets up, avoids the Asuka lock by throwing Asuka into the post. Asuka goes down face first from the electric chair position, and even that looked like a little funky. Just, it didn't look right.
Yeah.
Asuka then pushes Rhea into the post on the apron, hip attacks her on the spot. And then, like, I guess DDTs her on the apron?
That looked good. Like, that looked pretty decent. Because it actually looked like it landed.
Yes, and then we're ringside, and Charlotte, this was not their botch, but it was a technical botch, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte's lights were on the ramp. There was no music, but Charlotte's lights were on the ramp. I was like, wait, isn't that weird? Neither of those ladies have blue dotted lights. And so Charlotte breaks up the match, pummels Asuka for a bit, then sends a boot to the face of Rhea, beats them up for a little while, and has in a haunting little tone that she's back. I was like, bless your soul. This match was fucking garbage.
She's exuding a lot more confidence than she did before she left, which is great. Also, related to tomorrow, a match was announced for tomorrow. Very interesting match. It's an 8-man tag match, but an 8-man intergender match. So it's all 4 members of the Way, Candice, Indy, Johnny, and Austin, against Shotzi, Ember, Bronson Reed, and Dexter Lumis.
One, I'm excited we're getting Index. It's so hot. That's so sexy. Thank you. 2, unless I see a man land a punch on a woman or vice versa, I'm not going to be pleased. Don't tease me. Yeah. Even though Bronson did do the frog splash with Candice on his shoulders, so that's
a start.
There is hope. There's hope.
Yeah, that. Then we also have Swerve and Leon Ruff going at it. MSK versus Drake and Killian. The open challenge, and that seems to be all that's announced.
I mean, that's basically a whole show right there.
Yeah, and then whatever Karrion and Raquel do. All right. So after that bad match, God, is Rhea falling into the curse? Is Rhea falling into the main roster curse?
I don't know. It hurts so bad, but like it feels like it, doesn't it? Because she's looking like shit.
Yeah.
Trash shit, not good shit, bad shit.
I'm hoping a feud with Charlotte will be better because she does seem to have good chemistry with Charlotte, as we've already seen it In Your House and last year's WrestleMania. So maybe we'll get something good. But after that, we then have the Miz and Morrison backstage with Maurice, because Maurice is here for Miz TV, as was previously announced. John Morrison actually didn't know that Maurice was the special guest tonight. And he seems to feel left out. Which I'm taking that to believe that they're planning on breaking up the Miz and Morrison, which will really suck. Because
Start that with me.
Huh?
Start that with me.
But that would just really suck because neither of them would be able to survive without somebody else there. I mean, both of them have had solo careers, but Miz thrives with a partner, and so does John Morrison. But we then have Shayna and Nia are watching the video of Mandy Rose falling on the ramp at Mania. Mandy then walks in and she says, "No, you know what? I thought it was funny too. Said it's an interesting way to be trending again." But then she slaps Nia Jax. Dana then comes in and helps Mandy take Nia down. Then we get Alexa's Playground. Probably the most interesting Alexa's Playground we've had ever.
I still have problems with it, but continue.
This is definitely the most interested I've been watching this segment. So she's got a new look. She's, as far as her outfit and everything goes, she seems to have dropped the child persona, thank God. And now taken the Sister Abigail look more casually. She tells a story, kind of explaining what happened. She said that there was a girl who was lost, and she was rescued by the darkness. The darkness protected her, but then the darkness went away. But the little girl realized she didn't need the darkness. She realized she could do everything on her own without said darkness, and the darkness was standing in the way. And she also added, the female of the species is the deadliest, as they say. She said she unlocked something truly evil. And then she shows off a little doll named Lily. That,
had a name.
Huh?
I didn't realize it had a name.
Yeah. Lily, Lilith, whatever you want to call it. We got a little close-up of it, and as we're in that close-up, it moves and chomps its teeth that are skulls.
Really needs braces, dude. My issue here. We have dropped like the little kitty jumpers and stuff like that. Like, great. But you can't come out there dressed hits full out in leather, then sit there and say, once upon a time there was this little girl. And I'm like, no. Don't refer to yourself as a little girl when I can see your literal cleavage. I'm wrapped in leather.
Well, look, you tell stories like of your childhood. You don't refer to yourself as a woman when you were younger. And yes, Alexa Bliss wasn't younger in this case, but it was a different time in the story.
I don't know, man. It still made me feel a little some funky. Not great.
I don't know. That wasn't my issue with it. I did like that they were giving us explanation without it being like they're talking to us like we're 5 years old. It's enough to where you get a picture and the details we can infer or speculate.
Could have used a little more explanation, just like at least on Bray's end. I think I could have used more explanation because like I just don't know where this is going unless it's kind of one of those like evil of Alexa Bliss is now rampant in the world and we're not really going to see like a Bray intervention.
Remind me after the Firefly Funhouse segment to explain my theory, because I have an interesting theory. But after Alexa's Playground, we then have Miz TV with special guest Maurice. They plug Miz and Mrs., but John suggests a spin-off show, Miz and Mrs. and Morrison. I would watch that show in a heartbeat. Miz talks about WrestleMania, talks about how he made Bad Bunny a superstar. Without him, it wouldn't have looked as good. But then Damien Priest comes out, and he says that he was Bad Bunny's tag partner, and he doesn't even want to take the credit. Miz then challenges Priest to a match. Morrison said he was going to do the same thing, and then Maurice suggests that they both just fight him together. And so we get a 2-on-1 handicap match between Damien Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. I've seen a lot of hate for this match on Twitter. A lot of hate. I liked this match.
What reason?
The fact that as soon as Bad Bunny's gone, Damien takes a loss to these two guys. And I don't know. I liked this match. I thought the finish was fitting. It'll push the feud some more. Ideally not that much longer. But I think this was mainly just to start a little heat between Miz and Morrison.
Maybe. I didn't feel like that at the end, but let's get into it. Alright. So Damien Priest looked really handsome tonight. That's all I got.
Okay.
That is the one note I took tonight. So we get a big boot to the face of Morrison while Damien attacks the Miz. Another boot to Morrison's face. Miz catapults Damien into a fist from Mr. Morrison. This brings Priest down into a headlock. Damien breaks free by trying to break Mr. Morrison's hand. John runs Damien into the buckles, but rather gets the Miz in. While the Miz is setting up for whatever the fuck the Miz wants to do, which I believe is a senton at this point, Damien bell claps Morrison. Miz still sentons towards Damien, but Damien scoots out of the way, sending the Miz into the buckles. There's a kick to the face of Morrison. Get some flying elbows to Miz and Morrison, and then a vertical suplex and a heel kick to the Miz. Get a choke slam to the Miz, and then Morrison breaks up the cover. At this point, Morrison is in. The clothesline to John. Damien goes up top, but John rolls out, and so Damien flies out head over heels onto both men. Damien then goes up top again. Miz distracts him, gets a boot to the midsection. Priest goes up top again. Morrison hits him with a punch. Get down to the apron. Morrison is still on the buckles. He gets a boot to the face. To the chest. And then Damien goes up top again. We get a flying, spinning heel kick to Morrison off the top ropes. Miz gets back in. Priest hits the Reckoning, and Miz tries to get the skull-crushing... Or hits the Reckoning on Morrison. Miz tries to get the skull-crushing finale on Priest, but Priest reverses. Then... pardon me. Maurice helps save the Miz from whatever the fuck Damien is about to do to him. So Maurice then gets up on the apron after saving the Miz. Sweet fucking Damien. That's his soul. He's like, "Can you please get down? Please. I please get a waffle." That was like the tone he had, though. He was just like, "Please." But being a gentleman doesn't pay off the wrestling industry, and Damien gets rolled up by the Miz.
Right, with the little dirty pin.
Yes.
If there's anything to complain about in this episode, this was not it. Yeah, there's a lot more to complain about. But after that, we had an interview with Nia and Shayna. Nia, they showed Nia getting taken down by Mandy and Dana. She said it wasn't necessary to show that. And they just attacked her to deflect from Mandy's little blooper that she had at WrestleMania. And then we get Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. This match was fine up until the ending.
Yeah. They almost fooled me on this one. Almost got me. Did I? He's the old ticker up here. Figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also just like can't stand Mandy's whole like weird high horse that she's up on where she's like, "I can laugh at myself." It's like, well, fuck you, okay? I don't know why, because I can also laugh at myself. That's why I do this podcast. But like, someone like that just comes out of nowhere and they're like, "Well, sometimes it's fun to laugh at yourself. Like, look, it was a goofy little thing that happened. Like, oh my God, isn't that silly?" It just makes me want to backhand her. Like, I don't know why. But it brings out like this hatred inside of me.
Right.
Which is actually almost always there, but it was just Mandy's. Anyways. Nia starts off by pummeling Dana before tossing her into the corner. Shayna gets in, and the one thing we can say about this match, if nothing else, Shayna looked a little nasty tonight. Shayna looked like she had a little bit of an edge again.
Yeah, she looked like how she did at Mania.
Yes, and I'm like really hoping that this Shayna stays. I would love that, please.
Yeah, agreed.
So there's a hard hit as Shayna shoves Dana towards Nia, and Nia just fucking slams her down. And a kick to the face of Dana. A stomp on Dana's heel, and then a nasty little stretch muffler submission on Dana. I love the stretch muffler. I think it's a good little move. Looks like it definitely would hurt your neck so much more than it would hurt the other person, but honestly, I feel like chiropractically, that's probably what I need someone to do to me.
Right.
I think that would align my vertebrae again. Maybe that's what you need since you've got your back all fucked up.
Not on the spine. On like the side.
Yeah, but like sometimes, like, you know how like people with bad backs like will sleep like hanging upside down? Like that'll like realign your vertebrae. I think that's what you need.
I'll just sleep upside down.
Let your body stretch itself out. Oh, little butterfly Marcus. So where are we?
What?
I've checked out.
Did we finish the match?
We got stretch muff.
Okay.
No, not even close. We got stretch muffler submission on Dana. Dana swings Dana into the buckle. Nia gets in. Nia runs through Dana. We get a headlock on Dana. Dana hits Nia with a jawbreaker to get some space between the two of them. Dana goes for what would be a DDT, but has absolutely no luck because Nia is a massive human being and Dana cannot pull her down. The center of gravity is too low. So instead, we get a kick to the back of Nia's neck. Mandy gets in. She drop kicks Shayna, clotheslines her. I guess Shayna's in at this point too. My bad. Drop kick Shayna, clotheslines her. We get a knee strike to the face of Shayna and a double underhook, but Shayna refuses to go up for the suplex, avoids it. And then Nia Jax is being persecuted. And in the midst of her persecution, goes to get up on the apron in a very convincing manner, by the way. So kudos to her for taking the bump. Slips on the apron and smacks her face into it. And at first I was like, oh shit. Damn. And then I was like,
she got you.
Get it. She got me good. She fucked up this time. And now an embarrassing thing that happened to her is on camera.
Yeah.
Get it, guys. Everything comes full circle.
But like the thing is, an embarrassing thing to her already did happen on camera.
Exactly. That's the thing that I'm like, yeah, admittedly, she did not laugh that off. But she also, lived to tell the fucking tale.
Right. I feel like they should just reference that rather than trying to fake some new shit happening. Like, you already have her doing something accidentally, which is perfect. You have Mandy doing something accidentally. Like, stop trying to fake the magic. Stop it.
And then the thing that really annoyed me, which was Dana and Mandy realize that Nia Jax is fucking pissed. So they just say, oh, no, we're good. We're done. Like, I back away from the ring because they want to have to deal with angry Nia, which frankly, I wouldn't want to have to deal with her either, but it's not my fucking job to deal with her. So, and this is the thing that they said about something else, a different match that Nia and Shayna had. Where if the wrestlers don't care about who wins or loses a match, then what is the fucking point?
Right. Yeah. Like,
why am I watching it? Yeah. It's so stupid. It makes me so mad. And I'm annoyed that we got like a pretty good Nia and Shayna tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And it was wasted for dumb exit.
Yeah. At the very least, we're getting some kind of story from them. But also Miriam said WWE's anti-bullying campaign isn't going so great this time around. They tried with Braun, but now they're back to square one.
Bullying can happen to anybody.
Oh.
God, I wish it would happen to Drew.
Man, we need the match between Braun and Shane, we need to have Leon Ruff do that instead. Where it's like, I was bullied around a lot, so this match is for everyone out there who was called stupid or weak or was made fun of.
Yeah.
You need
made fun of for
Leon
being
Ruff.
skinny or
Right.
something. I guess that's a thing that happens to people.
Or an Otis,
don't know when that happens to you, but I mean, like, there's people who, like, you could pass off as being, like, they were made fun of, but Braun's, like, I'm not saying Braun's good looking, but Braun's, like, a generically decent looking dude.
And he's massive.
He's massively jacked.
Yeah.
No one is making fun of you, sir, because everyone's scared that if they make fun of you, you are going to break their goddamn neck.
How about instead of an anti-bullying story, we get an anti-racism story?
Mark, then that would go against everything the WWE stands for.
Vince would be the heel.
Yep, and not in the fun way that Vince likes to be the heel. In the, hey, Vince, we have a real fucking problem here. Hey.
Oh, yeah, Mariam said Mustafa tried, and now he's off TV. Have you seen his tweets? He tweeted once during WrestleMania and once tonight.
I have not seen his tweets.
Let me pull it up just to see. He said, let's see, where was that first one? Where is it?
Does he really tweet that much?
Yeah, he actually does. I guess he deleted it? He deleted the first one. But he said an hour ago, still not marketable Mustafa Ali.
I love that Mustafa said, please stop pronouncing my fucking name wrong. And that was like a massive thing. Like, that was a massive promo.
Yeah. And apparently,
it's like,
apparently he was interviewed by WWE Southeast Asia for Ramadan. And I think he was asked about Melbourne, however you pronounce it. And then Melbourne, but that's not how you pronounce it actually. That's how he pronounces it in the video. And then Peyton Royce quote tweeted that and said, I'm going to teach you how to pronounce it correctly soon. And he just said, I know.
God. He just, bless his soul. Actually, yeah, it is really interesting to say that though, because like, Mustafa really did try to be like, let's stop being fucking racist, and
he's off TV now.
He's off TV originally under the guise of, oh, he's injured, he's got to get surgery, and he was like, that's not why. That's not why.
You need someone like MVP to do that kind of thing.
You need somebody that's working for a company that's not actively racist. Do that sort of thing.
Yeah. I only say MVP because he has the tenure. He's ingrained in the main event scene right now.
Even he doesn't have enough of a say because they broke up the Hurt Business.
Oh,
I know exactly why they broke up the fucking Hurt Business. It's written in the fucking... written on the walls.
And, well, we'll see it. As we'll talk about, they were replaced. So, we'll talk about that later. But after that match... After that tag match, we have MVP out talking in the ring. He said Bobby will be out shortly, but Bobby retained at WrestleMania, and all he wanted to do today was celebrate. But he felt so disrespected. And he said, don't get me wrong, Drew McIntyre is an absolute warrior, but it's okay to be number 2 when Bobby's number 1. It's always just a matter of time until Bobby applies the Hurt Lock. And if Drew can't handle the pressure of the Hurt Lock, then who can? And he says, I'm asking seriously, who can handle it? Nobody. And whenever they go on like that, you know someone's coming out. And Drew McIntyre comes out. Drew says, how would you know how I feel right now? WrestleMania would come down to who would make the first mistake. It would also come down to it would come down to a Claymore kick and a Hurt Lock. Drew wants Bobby to be on the biggest pedestal just so he can knock him down. Braun Strowman then comes out It says Drew McIntyre lost, or he says, I agree with what MVP is talking about, actually. Drew McIntyre lost and needs to take his ass to the back of the line because I'm in the front of the line. Randy Orton then comes out and says, no more mind games after what happened with The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. So I'm now putting my hat in the ring to be champion again. Adam Pearce then comes out and says, I want to be champion too. No, he said, I know the perfect way to go about this. We're going to have a triple threat to decide the number one contender to face Bobby at WrestleMania Backlash. The worst name for a pay-per-view we've gotten in a long ass time. And then so that's planned for later. The only one I would want to see win out of the whole triple threat is Randy Orton, because Bobby's already fought the other two. Then we have Drew and Braun backstage. Drew said he saw what Braun did at WrestleMania, fighting Shane in the cage match. Like that was it. But Braun knows how bad Drew wants the match at Backlash, but Drew was in the way of Braun's title opportunity. And then we got Elias and worse Wesley Blake in the ring. They want to make sure Shane McMahon gets the respect he deserves. This is specifically Elias talking. So he wants to play a song for Shane. And he tries to play a song, and the trombone interrupts every chord he plays. And then the New Day comes out. They say that Elias and fake Wesley Blake are a disgrace in the tag division. They got whooped at WrestleMania by one man, Braun Strowman, one man. They said if that happened to them, they'd never show their faces again. They said all they could do was catch Braun's hands. And then they just start chanting, shame, 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 shame. But then Elias says the New Day also got whooped by Omos alone. But then Kofi says, or no, Xavier says, there appears to be a failure in communication because we're not talking about you, or we're not talking about us. We're talking about how you guys are a disgrace to the tag division. And somewhere in there, Kofi throws in some barking, which is an homage to DMX. I don't remember what point exactly it was, but I know he did it at one point. And then we have the New Day versus Elias and fake Wesley Blake.
Weirdly enough, I only registered Elias doing literally anything tonight, so unfortunately my notes only reflect that.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Not.
Okay. If only you would have this kind of attention to Velveteen Dream too.
You want me to ignore a Velveteen? I don't have to do that for me anymore.
Sure.
But hey, listen. You want me to stop taking notes for any particular wrestler and just sit back and watch the match? Not arguing. However, another handicap match for Elias. Poor man can't catch a fucking break. It's a goddamn shame sometimes. He gets tossed out of the ring. New Day dive out onto him. Xavier gets thrown into the buckle and then slammed into the ground. Headlock on Xavier. We get a knee to the midsection of Xavier and a slide knee to the back of Xavier's neck. Kofi gets taken off the apron. Finally, after a little while, Kofi gets in, hits a flying elbow off the top rope to Elias. Drop kick after a series of clotheslines. And a stomp to the stomach of Elias. He's going for the SOS, but Elias lifts Kofi into the electric chair position. Runs into... I don't know what I was going for. Lifts Kofi into the electric chair position. Kofi gets down. Hits Elias with a boot to the face. Gets Xavier in. Get a backbreaker to Elias from Kofi, and then Xavier off the top ropes with an elbow drop for the New Day to win.
Yeah. I'm glad they're still throwing Elias and fake Wesley Blake as just jobbers at this point. But for what seemed to be a filler match, there was a lot of a lot of motivation for this.
Didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
No. And I would have liked. I wouldn't have liked it if there were different people involved.
Okay. I wonder what they're planning with a New Day. Like, are they gonna have them rematch AJ and Omos at Backlash, or are they just gonna have them move on?
Hey, that's kind of up in the air.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's any route.
Yeah. Doesn't seem like there's any real. I guess we would know maybe if any of the champions had fucking been around today.
Besides Bobby.
Besides Bobby, who was barely around today.
And Rhea.
I don't recognize that one.
But after that, we had a promo with Randy Orton. He says he's able to focus on the WWE Championship now that Bray and Alexa are gone. Yes.
I just wanted to mention that I thought it was really funny during MVP's promo. People kept coming out. You just hear MVP scream into the mic, "What is going on?"
MVP is carrying Raw on his shoulders. He really is.
MVP's got him on his back at this point. Poor dude's probably got a fucking hunch and everything. No wonder he had to have that cane for so long.
Yeah. And despite all of his best effort, it is still crumbling around him. Man, I feel so bad for him.
You know, it's hard. It sucks. So does everything else that happens tonight, so.
Yeah. Except this next promo, which I loved. I love this. So, Firefly Funhouse returns. All the puppets tout the return of Bray Wyatt. And Bray comes in looking just as handsome as before. Abby, Sister Abigail, says that she couldn't stand that bitch. Referring to Alexa Bliss. And then Bray was like, "Oh, hold on there, Abby. But witches be wildin'." Oh, man. And then Ramblin' Rabbit comes in, starts shitting on Alexa Bliss too. And Bray grabs him, holds him up, and just gives him a kiss. And he says, "Not what you thought I was gonna do, was it?" And then throws Ramblin' Rabbit.
Ramblin' Rabbit is my king.
Oh.
I'm so glad that we got him back. I missed him and all of the exploits that end in Ramblin' Rabbit's demise.
I am so glad that this is one of the few things that WWE pre-records every time. Because if this was done live, it would be shit. This would be awful. But I'm glad you have this pre-recorded and you have somebody as charismatic as Bray doing this. He says, "We will always have each other, and that this is a brand new start. New season, and a new me. I feel reborn." A lot of people were getting Preacher vibes from Bray.
Preacher?
Yeah. I don't get it totally, but I was seeing a lot of people on Twitter and Reddit saying, is Bray a preacher now? But here's my theory. You wanna know my theory? So, a lot of people were theorizing that the Fiend we saw at WrestleMania was Bo Dallas, not really Bray, because he was slimmer, he didn't have the same mannerisms as Bray typically has, and my theory kind of supports that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Fiend we saw last night was not Bray. That was not Bray. It wasn't supposed to be Bray. That was just the Fiend, Alexa Bliss's pet. And this Bray that we see today doesn't mention last night at all. Not one bit.
Sure.
And it makes me think that the little summoning that Alexa Bliss did, it was to create a new fiend, not to rebirth Bray. And Bray instead has this kind of immortality thing. So we
I know for a fact that was not actually Bray last night in the Fiend costume.
Sean Ross Sapp is making fun of people who say that, but
Sean Ross Sapp can get these hands, buddy. I'll fucking take him out. He's a tiny man.
oh,
Which I think he knows how to wrestle, so
yeah, he does.
I might be eating my own fucking words on that one. But the only reason I say that is purely because that man didn't look like Bray. Please don't die.
I muted myself so nobody heard that.
Okay, I'm glad
Water
I
went
did.
down weird.
That man did not look like Bray. I know he didn't. I know that because I remember seeing him being like, damn, Bray got kind of like hot.
Maybe that's why he was wearing a different shirt than he normally does as the Fiend.
Possible. Just I vividly recall like I've seen the Fiend a million times, and like obviously I don't think the Fiend is attractive, but like no, Bray's under that, and I can make assumptions, and there's never been a time where I was like, damn, I bet Bray's looking like really good today. I saw that last night, and I was like, feeling conflicted because like I'm feeling something.
Yeah.
I don't think that was actually Bray Wyatt Wyndham Rotunda under that fucking mask.
Mm-hmm.
He was also slimmer. He was way slimmer.
Yeah.
We saw Bray tonight. Bray looks the same.
More or less, yeah. But having a fake Fiend played by Bo Dallas, sort of familiar, summoned by Alexa Bliss, would make a feud between Alexa and Bray possible, so you could have someone for Bray to fight, which would be Bo in the Fiend costume. While now you have Bray, who can be his Firefly Funhouse persona as a face and somebody to sympathize with, and you have Alexa Bliss, this witch, as the heel. It works out. It tracks.
Then we get a Fiend versus Bray match.
Yes. At Backlash.
Not to do this every fucking podcast, but I'm just going to say it. I've connected the dots.
Yeah, but as much as we theorize and as much as we try to connect the dots, we know for a fact WWE will never, they will erase the dots. They will erase the whole paper. They'll throw it out.
Yeah, that's fair.
But after that, we now have Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman versus Randy Orton in a triple threat match to decide the number one contender for the WWE Championship at Backlash.
And this match had 2 out of 3 possible options that would have made it not a total fucking waste of my time.
And one that would have been actually fun.
Actually, no, 3 out of 4 possible options. There were 4 possibilities. Those 4 possibilities are Drew wins, Randy wins, Braun wins, somebody cool comes out.
Somebody came out. Just wasn't that cool.
Well, the ending in that respect was kind of worth it. Let's get into it. So, Drew makes eye contact with Randy for 5 seconds, and Randy says, "Peace. Get the fuck out." On attacks Drew. We get one as the announcers are talking about like how oh, well, Randy said he just needs to get one good hit in, and then and then he could win. Randy jumps on in and just does a dainty little punch to the back of Braun. And I was like, is that the move, Randy? Was that it? So I think you need to reconsider. So we get a team suplex from Drew and Randy to Braun. Braun then runs through Drew and Randy. We get the little train coming through right into some fucking steel steps from Mr. McIntyre. Randy then drops Drew into the announce desk. Randy and Drew get back into the ring. They just start double teaming Braun, send him out to ringside again. There's a headbutt to Drew from Randall, and then Randy stomps on Drew's heel and then his hand. Get a kick under the jaw to Drew from Randy, and an overhead belly to belly, and another. A kick under the jaw to Drew from Randy, overhead belly to bellies. Okay. Braun is then back in the ring. He takes out Drew. He runs into Randy. We get the worst fucking neck breaker I have ever seen in the history of my time watching wrestling. Drew McIntyre, I don't know what crack cocaine you have been smoking lately, but that was the shittiest thing. That made Ray and Asuka look like they were fucking NXT right now.
It was like he had one hand on the top of Braun's head and one hand in grabbing Braun's beard. Jumped up, fell down. Braun finally understood what he was trying to go for and went down. But it looked like Drew pulled out a clump of Braun's beard.
It was, I mean, partially, Braun should have sold that better and known quicker what was going on.
Drew should have performed the move well.
Well, yeah, I'm saying Braun should have sold it better, but Drew should have, I don't know, done like his job correctly.
Right.
So fucking bad. Then Randy takes Drew out on the apron to save us all from what was a very awkward moment because Drew McIntyre did not look like he knew what the fuck to do at that point. Starts smacking Drew into literally anything and everything from the barricade to the post to the announce desk. Tosses Drew over the announce desk into the seats behind it. Braun clotheslines Randy ringside. We get some steel steps to Drew. And then some steel steps to Randy. Then back to Drew. And we get a knee to the face of Braun and a dumb fucking Draper DDT. Randy, god damn it, dude. God fucking damn it.
What did he shout?
He just went, ha ha ha. And then brought Braun down. I was like, I love Randall Keith Orton so fucking much. The Draper DDT, it's either a hit or miss because he sometimes won't do anything. Like sometimes he'll just do the move and I'm like, fuck was the point of that? And then sometimes he'll like do what he did tonight. I'm just like, Randall, little son of a bitch.
Man, based purely out of who was the most entertaining in this match, Randy should have won.
Well, Randy, right after that, goes right into Randall time after checking over his shoulder to make sure he had the clearance to fucking do his little spinny spin move. Which was very sweet because he goes... It's like... Ding!
He made sure he had the clearance before he just slammed his fists into the ground.
Bless his soul. Manages an RKO onto Braun, and then it looks like we have our winner, boys. Up until Drew McIntyre claymores Randy and then fucking wins to get another fucking opportunity at the title after the 929th opportunity for the title that he's had.
We need
fine. It's fine.
We need Sonya as general manager of this brand because she will be like, no, you've already gone for it. Stop.
Yeah. Adam Pearce is just getting walked all over here. But then after that, something fun, something interesting happens. And that is that MVP walks out. And that's it. But MVP walks out. And then who is there to choke slam Mr. Drew McIntyre, just as he deserves to be choke slammed? But T-Bar and Mace. My boys are back in town.
It's great to see them, but the fact that the Hurt Business broke up just for T-Bar and Mace to join. That's such a slap in the face to Cedric and Shelton.
And Slapjack. No, it is. It really is. I guess the thing is that they weren't broken up like the Iconics were, just for Peyton to be thrown into a tag team with Lacey. They were broken up because Shelton and Cedric weren't performing up to standard. So technically, there was always an opening in position. Just got two people that were actually going to perform. I'm not justifying what the fuck happened, by the way. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just trying to add a little spice of logic.
And who knows if this will be an actual team up, or if it's just them being hired by her business for, like, just to take down Drew once. You know?
Mm-hmm. I hope that they're, like, hired muscle.
Yeah, I hope that they're actually part of the Hurt Business and not just, like, a one-off.
I'm saying the same. I definitely hope so.
And where's Reckoning? Where the hell is Reckoning?
Dude, Mia Yim was there in Mia Yim gear, so I don't think Reckoning exists anymore.
Oh, I hope we see her tomorrow. I hope we see her tomorrow on NXT.
I don't think we will. She was at WrestleMania.
Yeah, she was at WrestleMania, but you never know.
So can I just...
Yeah.
Can I quickly discuss the disappointment that I felt? The MVP was out there saying, like, nobody get out of the Hurt Lock. Nobody can. The way I was expecting to hear Flea's theme, the way I was expecting to hear Brock's theme, the way I was expecting to hear literally anybody's theme except for fucking Drew McIntyre's.
Drew has become the most annoying wrestler on the main roster.
He has.
Like, he's
fucking saying it, but like, Jesus Christ.
They need to work an angle where they acknowledge the fact that he's fucking entitled. He's so entitled.
Really is. And he's been kind of acting entitled off screen too, which is like really tossing me a bone. I don't.
I don't think... I mean, I can say I don't think there are many people that like him, but he got massive cheers at WrestleMania, so...
Listen, he had a good angle to be entitled from in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, him winning that title, that was awesome. I will stand by that till the day I fucking die. And his first few defenses, awesome. I wouldn't have even mind if he held on to the fucking title for a year if it didn't require him to fucking fight Randy 400 times. But now it's just like Braun said, like, go to the back of the fucking line. You don't belong up here anymore.
Yeah.
You lost. That's it.
Yeah. I just want Drew to be out of this feud. I want him to lose at Backlash. And I want somebody else. Somebody new. Because Drew needs to take some time off. He really does. We need a Brock or a Keith Lee to fight Bobby. Or you know what? Give us somebody small who can just like squirm their way out of a Hurt Lock. Like Mustafa. Give us Mustafa against Bobby. Aleister Black. Cedric.
People are saying that Aleister might come back in Bray's storyline, but I kind of doubt it.
And we've heard so many rumors about when Aleister will return, but...
Speaking of rumors, there's rumors that there's going to be another Superstar shakeup soon. Which would be interesting because it's so early in the year.
Right.
And one could wonder if we're going to have another 2019 where there's two of them in 1 year.
Yeah.
If it'll include NXT.
Right. Right. I don't know. This Raw exhausted me. I'm hoping we end the WrestleMania week on a good note tomorrow. Bless you. All right.
Myself. I muted myself.
Oh, okay. All right, so I want to talk about the best of the night, if there are any.
Sure. Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
Up what you're putting down. Picking it up.
Oh my god, there is not a whole lot to talk about for the bests of the night. Alright, so running back to the beginning, we have Bobby having his confrontation with Riddle. You know what? If Riddle had challenged Bobby for the title, that would have been better than Drew. It really would have. Because it would have been the same way Bobby went up to claim the WWE title. But this was fine. It led to a decently booked match. Wasn't bad in any way. Then we had Ray Ripley interview, which very clearly scripted, was not good. We had the Asuka promo, which grabbed nothing out of it. Then we had the return of Charlotte Flair, which gave us a very well done promo. Like, she killed it. She really just said, you're gonna regret having me not on that WrestleMania card. Then we had the Miz and Morrison backstage with Maurice. That was fine. Shayna and Nia and Mandy. That was lame. Lux's Playground was very needed and very interesting. Ugh. Then we had Miz TV, which was okay. Feels like a step back from the Bad Bunny feud. Then we had an interview with Nia and Shayna that was forgettable. We had MVP talking in the ring, followed by Drew, Braun, Randy, and Adam Pearce coming out. MVP was fantastic, but here, as soon as Drew's walkout started, I knew I was going to be disappointed. But Sean Ross Sapp did make a really good point about this. He said it is great that the three people in contention for the title shot are the former champion and two people who won at WrestleMania. So it makes sense. I just want to see less of Drew in that scene. Then we had Drew and Braun backstage, which felt very obligatory. Then we had Elias and fake Wesley Blake being confronted by the New Day. New Day killed it. New Day, they kill every promo they do. But the fact that they can come out and and cut a promo that feels different from every single one that they've done, they always bring something new to the table. It's great. They do such a good job. Then we had Randy cutting a promo to the camera. That was fine. Firefly Funhouse after that was great. Really nice return to the Funhouse. Just not a whole lot to work off of, but still, it's hopeful for the future.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to pick one as the promo of the night, I'm gonna pick Charlotte Flair's return.
Yeah, I have to go with you on that one. That bitch took, like, I think, genuine anger and wove it into a killer fucking promo.
Oh, yeah.
Looked good, sounded good. I was convinced.
Mm-hmm.
This woman's like, saying, I'm going to tell people to bow down to me. And I was like, I'll do it any day you want. Name the place and time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. Then we had Wrestler of the Night, which I don't fucking know. So we started with Bobby Lashley versus Riddle. I constantly forget this match happened. I picked Bobby. Bobby looked mean. He looked great. Yeah, he dominated. That's really all you need to say from this match. Then we had Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin versus the Viking Raiders. I'm going with Ivar for this match. He killed it in his return. He looked not only strong as hell, but nimble as hell. He looks true to form. Loved it. Then we had Asuka versus Ray Ripley, which resulted in a DQ. Fucking go with Asuka. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
I mean, you can choose really at that point.
Yeah. Also, way to continue on shitting on Asuka's reign by not even giving her a legitimate rematch.
I know. They've really just. Speaking of racism, it's fine. It's fine.
But after that, we had what did we have after that? Damien Priest versus the Miz and John Morrison. I'm going with Damien Priest, I guess. I don't know. Wasn't super impressed by anyone in this match. Everyone was fine. Then we had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. I guess I'll go with Shayna. Again, I don't know. Nobody was great in this match. Shayna, I'm only going with her because she looked like her WrestleMania form in this match, which is nice to see. Then we had the New Day versus Elias and fake Wesley Blake. I'm going with Kofi Kingston. His hot tags were great. He just, when he was doing, he did like clotheslines onto Elias when he got that first hot tag, but it just seemed like he gently touched him or gently slapped him with his hand. He felt very light for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But he also killed it for the rest of the match. And then we had Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman versus Randy Orton. I'm going with Randy. Randy looked fun as hell. He was entertaining. He was his normal self, but his normal self is always great. I love how he shakes up his Draper DDT every time.
Just depends on the mood.
Yeah. But if I were to go with one person who really shined tonight for our Wrestler of the Night, I think I have to go with Ivar. Think so. Yeah?
Go with you on it.
Okay.
My feelings about Eric as it stands. Haven't heard anything about Ivar. So he came back. He didn't show like he had any ring rust whatsoever. And after a year out of the ring, that's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, even Ember, when she came back, she had a little bit of. After that first match, she was a little. I don't know. And she's gotten better since then. But it's hard, I'm sure, coming back from being out for so long. And I think he did a great job.
I agree. All right, so
because you chose him.
Huh?
I said I would hope because you chose him.
All right, so match of the night. Oh, God, I don't know. So Bobby Lashley versus Riddle. It was a good match. It ended how it needed to end. The whole match went as it should have. Still a great performance from both. But the most important thing is that it was a squash. Then we had Cedric and Shelton versus the Viking Raiders. Great match from both sides. Having Ivar return in this form was great. Having Shelton and Cedric, although I guess they're jobbers now, they still put up a great performance. I'm gonna be so mad if they're just jobbers now. I'm gonna be so mad.
Me.
Give them a feud with the New Day, now that neither have the titles. Have it mean something.
maybe stop putting tag teams of Pac-Man against a certain somebody constantly. Like, there's other tag teams. They exist. I know they do. I've seen them.
Have them fight the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, fine. Let them. That's fine. Jesus Christ.
But after that, we had Asuka versus Ray Ripley, which sucked.
That
bad.
shouldn't even be considered for, in any respect, match of the night.
Yeah. And then after that, we had Damien Priest versus the Miz and John Morrison. All right, it was good. It went down how it should have. Damien Priest looked like a beast fighting 2-on-1, but the Miz and Morrison still won in a dirty fashion, just like they would.
Or worse matches to complain about.
Yeah. Then we had Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Why should I care about this? Why?
I don't know. Didn't.
Yeah. Like, what's the point in having a match if you don't give a shit if you win?
What's the point of having a match if your other opponent gets angry, like opponents tend to do, and you're just like, oh, well, we're out of here.
Yeah. All right, so then we had the New Day versus Elias and Fake Wesley Blake. And this match was entertaining. New Day killed it. Elias did a good job too. It's such a shame Elias is bogged down by his tag partner. He's got a lot of potential.
I was just talking about this. It's a shame because when Elias came back, I was excited.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, holy shit. It's been literal years. A literal year. And then they just saddle him with like the least likable human being in the entire fucking roster, and that's saying a lot. It's like, okay. I don't know what he did to hurt Vince's feelings, but he did something.
I don't know. Well, I mean, prior to this, he was hit by a car and off TV for a long time, so obviously he pissed somebody off.
He was actually injured.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot about that.
Shattered something or like tore his ACL or something.
Ooh. Okay.
It was a fucked up injury. Like a Jinder Mahal level injury.
Mm. But yeah, the match itself was pretty decent. It was a bit fun to watch. Miriam said he tore one of his pectorals.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
You know, you kind of need one of those. You need both of them, typically. Imagine a wrestling match. Yeah, he got fucked. And I think, wasn't it, he was supposed to take that bump off the Juliet balcony with Corbin, and something happened when he was like holding on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he took that fall. Was it at Mania? No, because
May have been. It was right around the time of Mania.
Gronk took that fall.
Gronk took the fall. This was right after Mania.
Okay. Was that Money in the Bank?
Yes.
No, because Corbin was in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Oh. Backlash?
No, it was in between Money in the Bank and WrestleMania.
Speaking of Jinder Mahal, is Jinder Mahal ever coming back?
Who?
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. We then had the triple threat main event: Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman versus Randy Orton. It was the fun to watch match. I mean, even though we got that horrible botch by Drew.
Drew, I deserve a title, and yet I've been botching more moves more often than ever before. McIntyre.
Yeah. Randy was fun to watch. Braun was alright to watch.
It wasn't awful to watch, that's for fucking sure.
Yeah. I don't know. And the ending killed it for me. Well, the ending of Drew winning won it for me, but as far as Mason T-Bar coming in, that'll at least make some fun matches.
I mean, the ending with Drew winning killed it for you.
Yeah.
You said it won it for you.
Oh, yeah, killed it for me.
Like,
but if I were to go with one match for match of the night, is this really where we're about to go? Cedric and Shelton versus Viking Raiders. My pick, I guess.
can't. I'd have to say it'd be the main event.
You would pick the main event over Bobby and Riddle. I would pick that over the main event. If you go with Bobby and Riddle, I'll switch and go with you. Because at least that had like a lead up and story.
What I just realized.
What?
There is almost not a single match tonight that didn't happen with at least one person who's gotten in trouble for being a horrible person.
Mandy and Dana versus Shayna and
I think that's the only one that didn't.
Asuka and Rhea.
Rhea said a bad word a couple years ago.
Damien, Miz, and Morrison.
Okay, so there's another one. I knew I was forgetting a couple.
Well, Drew, Randy, and Braun.
Randy's done a lot of shit that he should not have done. He's a reformed man, but he's done a lot of shit that he should not have done.
It was also in the ruthless aggression era, so everyone's done something bad at that point.
Well, yeah, everyone in that span of time has definitely done one or two or 58 things that have been horrible.
Mostly the coke fueled all of it, but yeah.
But yeah, no, I just came to that realization. I was like,
yeah, but I mean, at least we have Damien, Miz, and Morrison.
Damien, my pure, untouched soul.
Except for that hot tub.
Don't talk about the hot tub.
Where he legit just ruined his gear.
Remember the hot tub during COVID times, and we all sat there like,
so what's your
hot
pick?
tub's filled with germs? I don't fucking know. I don't care. I did not like the Viking Raiders match that much. I didn't really like the Bobby Riddle match that much, besides the fact that Bobby basically squashed Riddle. That was pretty cool. I hated all these matches for the most part tonight.
Do you want to go with Damien, Miz, and Morrison? Yeah? Okay.
We got Maurice.
We did get Maurice.
Like, we got good old-fashioned Maurice pulling the Miz out, saving the Miz's ass. Good shit. Wholesome match. I will take it.
All right. So, to run it back, our promo of the night, Charlotte Flair returns. Wrestler of the night, Ivar. Match of the night, Damien Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison. I think that's like one of the first times that we've picked The Miz and John Morrison for anything.
May have been, because I don't really like them.
At least this year. I know we used to pick John Morrison a lot.
True. Yeah.
When
things were booked well.
Well, it was when they were heavily in the tag scene.
Yeah. No, John and The Miz have been really just doing handicap matches.
Handicap matches, because The Miz has been in the singles scene and John's just been there to support him.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully tomorrow's better. Which it's NXT, so most likely will be.
Shitty episode of NXT is a good episode of Raw, so.
Knock on wood.
Hopefully, maybe I'll get my Timothy Thatcher back. Not sure where that man's been. It's having COVID.
Hopefully we'll see Murphy challenge Santos.
I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah. Get a nice old cruiserweight rematch.
Huh.
Or not rematch, but Murphy reattempt to get the title.
Yeah.
Alright. Liz, would you like to close out the fucking SmackDown Raw WrestleMania bullshit podcast?
Hey, don't call my podcast bullshit. Call Raw bullshit.
Well, it's a podcast about bullshit.
Tonight it is. If you joined us tonight, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. It's always fun when we have people joining us. If you joined us in the future, happy Ramadan, by the way. I think that started. That has started.
Mm-hmm.
So if you join us today and if you join us in the future, happy Ramadan. I know that lasts a month. But please join us tomorrow night for our first Tuesday episode of NXT. We will be talking about NXT. We might not be talking about news at this point because there is probably not going to be any news, but we'll try. It's always a fun time talking about NXT. We always have a lot of fun doing it. So please join us. It will be the 7th and last fucking episode of our personal WrestleMania Hell Week, where we have been podcasting since literal last Wednesday. I am so tired.
We'll have 2 days off.
2 days off. Fuck. All right. Yeah, so please join us. It'll be a lot of fun. That's all I got.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Follow, subscribe, all that jazz. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. Our Twitter, as you can see right down below, at Pinfall Podcast. My Twitter, at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow for NXT.